We're going to talk a little bit more about how central health and well-being should be as part of your EVP, because obviously we had that stat at the beginning that 54% of job seekers at the moment think it's a really high priority for them when looking for their next role. But we've just had a question in from Yasmin who said, how do you roll out an EVP? How do you include it in adverts? You mention it in interviews. So I guess this kind of speaks to the employer branding piece of like, right, I really feel like we've got a strong EVP in our business. You know, it's a tough market at the moment. We want to communicate that as much as possible. How should people go about that?
Loudly and everywhere. Loudly and everywhere and consistently is what I would say to that. You need to make sure that you've got consistency across your organization. To Agata's point, it can't be a marketing exercise, but you can't underestimate the importance of a marketing activity if it's real. And that's, your business needs to be selling your EVP. They need to understand what your offering is, what you're promising candidates, what you're saying to the market. But your website, your ads, your communications to your team members internally, your posters, they should all be referencing that kind of value proposition that you're offering your team. The more you say it, the more that people will understand it and strive to live it as well. So, loudly and proudly is my best advice.
Yeah, I love that. Steve, you must see lots of different organizations attempting this. What do people do well and not so well?
Look, I do, and we do a lot of content for a lot of our clients, and I think that's super important, exactly what Kate said. But I believe the only way EVP becomes really genuine is when all your staff are communicating it naturally. And I think that when anyone's looking at working for any company, they're going to go and look at the people that work there. They are, and they'll look at their Instas, and they'll look at their LinkedIn's, and they'll look at the people. They'll look at Glassdoor. They'll look at all those things. And if your staff are talking about all the EVP things that you do, and they'll all do it in different ways, nothing is ever more genuine than that. As a business, you can communicate it, and you should. And I'm not saying you should just rely on that. You absolutely should. But if you really want it to hit home and you really want people to 100% believe it, it needs to be your staff doing it across all of their personal channels. That's how you really communicate it super effectively.
Yeah, no point getting to the culture round of the interview and then speaking to team members who don't even understand what the EVP is or what the benefits are or the values or anything like that. Anything to add on that one, Agata?
No, just I would say that I absolutely agree with what Kate said. Loudly and proudly is the go. Marketing tactics are very useful in all of that. I heard a very, very funny and relevant comparison, I guess, or a way of introducing this, how to build brand positioning, that it is like birds building a nest. So depending on the environment it will build that nest from what they can find. So in the city, that might be little scraps of paper, coffee stirrers, that kind of stuff, grass leaves or leaves and that sort of thing. But then if they are somewhere more in the country, they will find a little bit more natural ingredients. So our job as marketers, it is to actually leave the little traces around people that we want to build positioning within, so they can find what they are looking for when they are looking for it, if that makes sense. So it is so important to reiterate at every single touch point to actually leave those little notes and stories and things to be found, really, for everyone to understand what we're trying to say. And consistency of the message, consistency of those points is so important. Just like Kate said, loudly and proudly, consistently, keep repeating until it sticks, right?
I love that. So marketers leaving the little messages and notes around, candidates building the nest.